As Mansfield has them all teetering on the brink a little bit here.
Another thing I think Wellsboro is going to have to get a hand in all of the faces of the Mansfield shooters. Davey Bostick, Hilson, and Bergeson are all going to try and shoot more threes if they have a wide open shot, and they will take advantage of it.
Singer shot goes in and out, and there's going to be a foul called here. George Valentine has that call on Avery Montefusco. That'll be Montefusco's second personal foul of the game, and it's going to send Rachel Tuttle, the freshman, replacing Jada Jackson in the lineup due to her ankle injury. Shot rattles off the rim and no good. When you're down 11, you really can't afford to give the points away when you're at the foul line without anybody bothering your shot.
No, you got to take advantage of all the free throws you have.
Second shot misses as well. So Wellsboro comes up empty with that possession. Montefusco now into the corner. Gets it back to Allie Hilson. Lisa Davy Bostick. Mansfield can afford to be patient should they wish to. Holding the 11-point lead. Hilson to Montefusco. Back over to Hilson. And Allie brings it back out, saying, let's relax here. We've got the lead. No reason to be anything but patient. They feed it into Gaverick. Gaverick gets tied up on a jump ball, but Mansfield gets it right back.
I think Caitlin Garvick might have gotten away with a little elbow to Jordan Butter's stomach there. I think that could have been an offensive, but Mansfield keeps the ball with the jumper.
And Mariah Bergeson checks back in. They feed it back to Gaverick. Gaverick goes up for her shot. That goes around the rim and in. So very quickly, Caitlin Gaverick kept off the scorebook for the first half. Has 5 here in the second. Wellsboro needs to score. Tuttle gets her shot partially blocked off the rebound. Long shot taken by Peyton Wilson. That doesn't go in. Emily Dinan now into the Mansfield lineup, and there's Tuttle. Persistence for Wellsboro pays off as Tuttle scores.
That's a big steal for Wellsboro. I think they really need to get back down the single digits and start a momentum shift.
Leads at 11, 32-21 as we come towards the 5-minute mark. They flip it over to Bostick. She gets it over to Gaverick. Gaverick cut off. Burgess is going to try a three-pointer. Nothing but nylon. Mariah Bergeson hits the 3, her second of the game. She's got 8 points, and Mansfield leads by 14.
And I think that's good for the Lady Tigers to see Bergeson hit a few threes tonight because she's been cold from behind the perimeter for the last couple games. So I think to have at least 3 girls for the Lady Tigers that are shooting the three ball well, I think that's big.
Hilson gets a steal. Hilson gets a basket. And that's what Mansfield does so well, scoring in bunches. And all of a sudden, the 8-point lead has been doubled to 16 points. And a jump ball will allow Mansfield to maintain control. Walbert comes back into the lineup for Dinan. They work it inside to Butters, but holding her ground was Sarah Walbert, and she forces Butters into a turnover. Mansfield racing away in this one now. Bergeson thought about taking the shot, didn't do it. Hilson's going to take the 3, though. Nothing but nylon. Allie Hilson's second 3. She's got 10. And the lead is up to 40-21. And Coach Davis says, whoa, we got to talk some things over at the halfway point of the third quarter. Mansfield's lead up to 40-21.
I think someone's obviously got to get on Allie Hilson because she has the hot hand right now. She's come down, hit 2 threes and a jumper. So obviously she's feeling that Mansfield's going to keep looking to get the ball to her. So Wellsboro's going to have to maybe put a little pressure just on Hilson and maybe focus on maybe letting Lisa Davy Bostick trying a shot or Bergeson to test them out.
That's kind of like the boys team as well. So many scores on both the girls and boys teams that it's almost like the other team just can't focus on one or two guys, because with the boys the other night, you stop Bo Burley, here comes Chandler Corral. You stop Levi Chrisman, here comes Luke Kelly. And it seems with the girls, you clamp down one, somebody else is scoring the points. They really do have a blessing of riches right now as far as the players they can put out on the court.
Yeah, I think Mansfield needs to be grateful for how much depth they have this year, both on the boys and girls side.
Wellsboro Rogers now back into the game. There's a long shot taken by Wilson that doesn't go in. Rebound comes out to Gaverick. Here comes Mansfield. Allie Hilson thought about it, passes it over to Gaverick. Gaverick cut off, gets it to Davy Bostic. Over to Hilson. 19-point lead. Not sure how many times Coach Dominic has had a 19-point lead in Wellsboro in his career.
I doubt very many. Usually playing against Wellsboro girls, it's usually a single-digit game. So this is a surprise to see.
We'll see what the last 3:20 can do for Wellsboro, if they can cut into that lead or not. Trying to cut into it with a shot there was Butters, but that doesn't go in. But Ingrick is able to score. She's got 10, 40-23. See if Wellsboro can get on a little bit of run to end the quarter. But Walbert fights for the rebound. Walbert gets the rebound. Walbert gets the basket. Wow.
That's another big offensive rebound for Sarah Walbert. And I think something that Wellsboro's coach needs to talk them over with is put a body on Sarah Walbert.
Shot off the front of the rim by Peyton Wilson doesn't go. Hilson gets it over to Davy Bostic. She comes racing in the front court. Lisa Davy Bostic's three goes off the iron, no good. And there's one rebound Walbert didn't get, as Peyton Wilson is able to come away with it for the Hornets. Wilson's going to try a three of her own. That goes off the front of the rim, ricocheting around. And Wellsboro gets it back there with Racia Rogers. Long cross-court pass. Back over to Rogers. She's going to put up a three. That doesn't go in. 2 minutes to go in the quarter. Mansfield comfortably ahead. Back over to Hilson. Hilson goes into the lane, stops, pops, misses. But who else but Sarah Walbert with another offensive rebound. Shot doesn't go in, but Sarah did get the offensive rebound.
Yeah, and once again, Wellsboro still, maybe they need to put two people on Sarah Walbert, but unfortunately, the boxing out has been a little weak for the Lady Hornets.
Rogers thought about taking another long three-pointer. They get into Tuttle. Tuttle goes up and draws the foul on Walbert. That's only her second foul, and she's been mixing it up all night, so I think Coach Dominic's got to be very happy that that's only her second foul at this stage of the game.
He's got to be very happy because the last three games actually, Sarah Walbert has probably had sometimes 4 fouls by this time in the game. And they've had to bring in Dynan, who's been in foul trouble before. So it's really nice to see that Sarah Walbert only has 2 fouls right now.
Christy Buchanan gets back into the lineup. She's had a couple cameo appearances. We'll see if she can make an impact here in the final minute 28. And the foul shots go in. Rachel Tuttle played a nice game for a freshman.
Yeah, and playing a nice game to step in for Jada Jackson, too. I think Wellsboro is pretty happy with the way she's played so far.
Gaverick right through the defense, and Caitlin, who was off the board in the first half, now has 7 points. So she's had a very impressive third quarter. And a turnover there, and we'll see with a minute to go if Coach Dominic just pulls the ball out for the last minute or just, well, it looks like with his motioning, he's not looking to pull that ball out for the last minute.
No, I think he's looking for the shot. I think he wants to make sure Wellsboro has less of a chance of even having the thought of coming back.
And the pass goes out of bounds, and the Lady Tigers will get it back into Walbert. Walbert flips it over to Gaverick. Gaverick to Hilson. Hilson to the bottom of the basket. Allie's hot tonight. She has 13 points.
And Wellsboro even got a hand in her face there, so you don't want to foul her. It's just that Hilson's feeling it right now. Emily Dinan's going to check in the game now for the Lady Tigers, and so is Montefusco.
Yeah, Dinan in. I guess they called that foul on Wellsboro's number 11, and that would be Ingrid, and that's her third foul. And now Wellsboro going deeper into the bench there.
Seen some JV kids from the double overtime win.
Jessica Grab is out there. Yes, you're right. You're right about that, Ryan. We do have a couple of those players out there. Here's Hilson back over to Buchanan. Allie feeling it. She passes it off to Dinan. And Buchanan's shot doesn't go in. But Allie Hilson gets the rebound. Allie Hilson gets the basket. And Allie Hilson on a one-person crusade right now.
Yeah, and she is. And took the spot a little bit of Sarah Wolbert, even though she doesn't have the size. She went over two people there to get that offensive board and came back with the floater.
I have unofficially Allie for 17 points on the game now. Make it 18 points. As she has had a very impressive third quarter. 18 seconds to go. The lead is doubled, 50-25. And it looks like Montefusco might have got in there with a hand to foul Ingrid. Sarah Ingrid always trying. Well, apparently I was wrong again on these fouls. I could swear that was Montefusco's foul, but they gave it to Hilson.
It's just hard to see with this divider. We have limited sight.
Well, thank you for covering for me.
Of the right side of the court here.
Dinan gets the rebound, and then a little surprising here, Ryan. They take a timeout with 8 seconds to go in the third quarter, not letting the last 8 seconds trickle off the clock here.
Yeah, that is surprising.
Unless there is a play that they maybe want to try to work on that they might feel could be beneficial in a one-point game down the road with 8 seconds to go.
Yeah. And this game went from being, Wellsboro was only down 6 in the beginning of the second half here, and now it's up to 25 just like that.
Yeah, Mansfield has had, again, just the depth and the fact you can get scoring from every position on the court for Mansfield. They're a tough team to stop, and it seems they've been a little more focused since that Wyalusing game.
Yeah, I think they have. I think they've realized, even though losing to an undefeated Wyalusing in overtime, they've realized how good they can be, and when they go to Wyalusing, they're going to be hungry. They're going to want to beat that team.
Mansfield let that one get away there. They had not a comfortable, they had a 5 or 6 point lead there in the latter stage of the fourth quarter, and then went to overtime and they got defeated. And Wellsboro can't get the shot off, so a very productive quarter for Mansfield. Wellsboro had 8 points in the quarter, but Mansfield had 25 at halftime. They now have 50. They double their point total in that third quarter.
That's impressive, especially in high school when it comes to just quarters. You usually only see teams scoring maybe 10 points, sometimes 15 points in a quarter, but for Mansfield to score 25 points in one quarter against a solid Wellsboro team, that's impressive. It shows you how hungry they are to get the win. 25
points in 8 minutes. That's an impressive amount, as we said, for Wellsboro. Very quickly, 10 points, Sarah Ingrid. 7 Alexis Singer, 2 for Jordan Butters, 7 for Rachel Tuttle. And for Mansfield, 2 points for Avery Montefusco, 11 points for Sarah Walbert, 6 for Lisa Davy-Bostic, 7 for Caitlin Garbrick, 8 for Mariah Bergeson, and Allie Hilson now sitting on 18 points. And here we go to the fourth quarter, and it looks like we may see some more subs in this game. Brittany Weisskopf is one of those that's in there right now.
Brittany's another good ball handle from the JV team, and actually she could do some damage in the varsity game.
And they're going to call a travel on Buchanan. So the ball goes back over to Wellsboro. Wellsboro at 6-4. In danger of dropping to 6-5. Mansfield looking to go to 10-3. 1 win away from securing that district playoff spot, which could come Thursday night when they're right back in action. There we go. Rogers gets a ball to fall. Racer Rogers, and it's 50-27.
Wellsboro looking for a big momentum shift because that's what they're going to need. This is where Jada Jackson would be key right now to have Jada and Sarah start scoring some points, but unfortunately they got to leave it up to Sarah, and Alexa might have to start hitting some shots, and they might want to start looking down low to Jordan maybe for some wide open layups.
And we'll see if Mansfield does relax a bit on offense now. Montefusco drives in. They don't relax there. Gaverick, well-timed move there, and she's fouled. Variety of players getting offensive rebounds right now, Ryan, for Mansfield.
Yeah, and right now, even though some of the Mansfield players don't even have size on these Wellsboro girls, they're still getting the offensive boards, and right now they are showing a lot more aggressiveness.
Gaverick for the foul shot. First shot is in. She looks to get into double figures soon. She's got 8 in the game, and Allie Hilson comes back in for Brittany Weiskopf. Caitlin looks to get her second free throw to go, and it does. She has 9 points all in the second half, and the lead back to 25, 52-25. Singer fires it over to Rogers. Rogers to Wilson. Rogers, who fired one in before, this one doesn't go in. Ingrid tries to get the rebound, and they say it goes off of Mansfield. A little bit of a question on that from some of the fans, but when you got a 25-point lead, they're not going to be that vocal.
No, when you have a 25-point lead in a key game like this, I think you can lay back and say, hey, let's just play smart and don't turn the ball over too much because we've got this covered.
But there was one fan in the stands who was extremely vocal that he thought the call should have been going the other way. And the ball batted around, and now he can be happy because it does go the other way as Wellsboro turns it over to Mansfield at this point. See if Mansfield takes some air out of the basketball with a large lead. Buchanan has it in the corner. She's covered by Ingrid. There's Hilson. Hilson pulls it back out. Looking for a clear out. Right now, Gaverick and Hilson, the only starters in there for Mansfield. What a nice move by Gaverick, but Sarah Ingrid still giving 110%. She comes up with a block shot, and Mansfield turned away offensively.
Yeah, nice up and under by Garvick there to try and get the layup, but Sarah Ingrid's always out there going 100%, and she wants the win even though they are down by 25.
Avery Montefusco cut off there by Wilson, and Emily Dinan scrapping for the rebound with Tuttle, and they say that on the possession it's Wellsboro ball, and now we got Jessica Grab coming back into the game for Wellsboro. Jessica Grab, and it looks like Elizabeth Poyer also in, as some of the deeper reserves getting some playing time right now, as they should, in a 25-point game with 5 minutes to play.
As we can see, Lauren Smith is going to check in for the Lady Tigers, and she's also another solid JV player who could also score some points and help out the Tigers in the varsity game.
Here goes Hilson again, still in the game, flips it back out to Gaverick. Her shot goes right in, and Caitlin Gaverick coming to play in the second half. She's got 11 now on the night, and the lead's doubled. And the lead being doubled in the first quarter is not much saying much. The lead being doubled in the fourth quarter, that says a lot.
Yeah, that is a lot, especially for a high school game.
And now Mansfield returning Weiskopf to the lineup, and this time she brings Lauren Smith with her. And I'm sure that's the last we'll see of Hilson and Gaverick on the evening as they take their place on the bench, as Mansfield has 5 substitutions in the game, which is good to see. Give some of the other players some opportunities. Buchanan tries the long shot. No good. Dinan couldn't quite get the rebound. And Singer ahead of the group, and Alexis Singer scores. And apparently an error. I know you couldn't see that, Ryan, but you were blocked. I was partially blocked, but apparently the young lady from Mansfield crossed the baseline with her inbound pass there. And Mansfield decides they're going to take a full timeout to stabilize things here with a 54-29. Mansfield's next game, I know you'll be doing that on Thursday night, and that will be a game with Northeast Bradford. Northeast Bradford, not quite the powerhouse they were a year ago. Last year, a Mansfield Northeast Bradford girls game would be very impressive. This year, with Northeast second place in the small school with a 3-2 record and 6-5 overall. So certainly Mansfield's going to have to do certainly more than show up for that game.
Yeah, and I think Northeast Bradford, even though they have struggled a little bit, Mansfield has had their troubles. I do believe that Mansfield got swept by Northeast Bradford last year, so that it's going to be big for Mansfield to get some revenge, and they're going to try to show that they are the better team.
That's what they got Thursday, and then they turn right around. They got a game Saturday night as well. Saturday night's an away game at Williamson, and Williamson's NTL record right now, well, Williamson still looking for that elusive victory, sitting there at 0-7. And after the timeout, the ball trickles off of Sarah Ingrich's foot, and Mansfield will get the ball back as Lauren Smith passes it to Weiskopf. See what some of the youngsters can do. And that ball just a little too hard for Smith. And Grab puts her shot up, no good. Hard shot taken by Tuttle, no good. And here comes Avery Monefusco. She's back on the offensive end to Weiskopf.
And right now, I've noticed about half of the girls out of the 10 girls on the floor right now are from the JV game.
Well, they might be a little tired now.
If
you weren't with us earlier, the JV game tonight went double overtime, which is why we're still on the air with the varsity game tonight. Wellsboro did win that double overtime game. We were pleased to give you a little bonus coverage of that one. And there's a steal by Buchanan. She's ahead of the pack, and she was fouled by Tuttle. And that could be it for Rachel Tuttle, who drew the starting assignment tonight. And that will be the 5th foul on Tuttle. She'll lead the game with 7 points, third leading scorer for Wellsboro.
Logan Wilson is going to check in the game now for the Lady Tigers, and now 2 more subs are going to come in for the Lady Hornets.
I think for Wellsboro, 23, she was the girl, Autumn Kitajima. She's the one who made the key basket there in the second overtime for the JVs tonight for Wellsboro. She got the big hoop there when points were at a premium. Almost, well, there is a steal now. It was a little hard to maintain, and there goes Elizabeth Poirier. Poirier gets fouled on the play. Or I'm sorry, Jessica Grab. Jessica Grab got fouled by Weiskopf, Brittany Weiskopf, as we try to familiarize ourselves with a new set of numbers.
Yeah, now we can get used to the names. Because at first we didn't even have the names from the JV games, but now we got them here for you.
Now we can put the names with the faces. And then the only one, I'll be honest with you, is the girl who made the winning shot that I remember. Autumn Kitajima. She had the winning basket. And the shot goes in by Grab, and Wellsboro down 54-30. Christy Buchanan to the front court. Flips it over to Weiskopf, back to Buchanan. Weiskopf cut off there. And there's some nice passing to Dynan, but rim not friendly for Dynan. Here comes Wellsboro again. Poirier misses the shot, and Weiskopf has it stolen away as she got it. Poirier is going to take a long 2. That's no good, but the ball knocked away, and Mansfield will get control in this game. And again, I think a lot of people probably surprised at the large margin of the victory that Mansfield will have tonight. Not surprising the Lady Tigers are ahead, but maybe the 24 points, a little bit of a surprise to some people.
Yeah, it is a surprise. It's actually a reminder of the Athens game where Athens was undefeated coming in here, and Mansfield actually won big when they were the underdog coming into the game.
And there's a turnover now. Wellsboro brings it up with 2:14 to go. Grab with the ball. Kidajama with the basketball. She gets cut off, showing some patience. They flip it back over there to Kidajama. And Wellsboro will maintain control. Janessa Davis also in there.
I think something for Wellsboro, they're going to have to learn to pick their heads up, because they're going to have to know that this Mansfield team is a good team. They're going to be hard to compete with, and they're going to need to keep their heads up more, because I mean they still have just under half of a season left. So I mean they're going to need some wins if they're going to want to still compete.
Janessa Davis does get the 2 there for the Hornets. And now there's going to be a travel call as we are managing through the last minute and 24 seconds here of the game, with the score 54-32 right now. Mansfield holding by 22 points. Kidajama to Poirier. Poirier over to Davis. Janessa Davis off the bench, and Janessa with finding the range and scoring twice here.
Janessa Davis is really in there trying to shave down the score as much as possible, maybe to not look like Wellsboro wanted to come back, tried to make a run at the end.
And Mansfield calls the timeout before the game expires with the 51.9 seconds to go there. Certainly Wellsboro, then they take the full timeout. So they did cut it down to 20. In fairness. So that's always good to see, a team just not giving up and rolling over and continuing to fight on through a little bit of adversity, because I'm sure they didn't take the drive over Route 6 expecting the result they're getting right now.
No, I don't think they were expecting it at all. They probably wanted single digits, if anything.
And they probably were hoping maybe to come out with a win. But as we said before, Ryan, Mansfield's such a tough team to play against, because when those 5 starters are out there, they all can beat you. It's not like you focus on Allie Hilson and you shut her down, and all of a sudden you're looking on your stat sheet and Lisa Davy Bostic will have 14 or 15, or Gavrick will have 10 or 12, and then Mariah Bergeson will hit 10 or 12, and then you start worrying about them, and all of a sudden Allie Hilson goes off. So, Coach Dominic, a lot of ways you can play almost each and every game.
Yeah, and on a good night for Mansfield, they'll have 4, possibly the whole starting 5 in double digits, and that's just dangerous, especially going into the postseason.
And a lot of these girls are still back for one more run next year. So they're not a senior-laden team either. And fight there, and nice sportsmanship there as the 2 young ladies fight for the ball, and Smith goes flying, but quickly over to help her up is Jordan Butters. Weisskopf shot, that goes off the rim, no good. And breaking it down is Janessa Davis. Nice pass, but Poirier can't get the ball to go in. I'm impressed with Janessa Davis. And there's Janessa Davis. She's got 6 points tonight here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, Janessa Davis is impressing right now. She's come in and scored 6 points in about 3 minutes, and maybe Wellsboro should think about using her more when the next games come forward.
Well, if she's trying to increase her playing time, she may have done so tonight. As the time will wind down. Mansfield not a huge 4th quarter, only scoring 4 points, but after
it's a Rome address, but don't believe it's in Rome.
Yeah, and they'll be ready to play here tonight, Chris. They typically have good guards, good backcourt, so should be a good match, Chris.
Pair number 12s, jumping center, Macy Wilkes and Sarah Walbert. And after that jump, 1 second off the clock, A pair of number 12s will jump again. The ball taken away by Northeast Bradford's Maddie Johnson. Maddie Johnson being guarded by Allie Hilson. Just underway. Mansfield with 10 wins, 11 gets you into the playoffs. I know making the playoffs may be a foregone conclusion, but it still is the first objective you have to have each year, Kevin, and they could get to that objective tonight.
Oh, absolutely, Chris. As you said, Coach Dominic wants to win out and get that number 1 seed, but got to take care of business here tonight, Chris.
The ball goes over to the Tigers. Mansfield to inbound. The other evening, their rival Wellsboro, coming off of that game there, an easy win for the Tigers that evening. And we're going to have our first foul of the game called by the Mansfield softball coach, the coach of the year, in fact. Edith Gallagher and her crew has tonight's game.
Staying busy in the off season, Chris, I guess, but look for Bostic to get some open looks here early on in this offense, Chris.
And just as Kevin